Mabibi na mabana, hamjambo. Itifaki zote zikiheshimika. Ni Brenda alisema nilitrend mbaya. Na wakati tulikuwa tumeketi hapa, nimeangalia suruali za wenzangu, kama kuna moja imeguza kiatu nikapata hakuna. Lakini wa Kenya hivyo ndivyo walivyo. The beauty is I truly enjoy it. And this is how you should be, just simple, and don't worry about too many things that people say. And if you worry, then you will have a problem in life by carrying everything that you feel and see at heart. Politicians have a story to tell, but this I will say another day. This morning I was having a courtesy call with the British High Commissioner, and he asked me, you know, William, soon we'll have elections. What is going to happen to the media fraternity and reporting? And you know, Kenya has cycles of situations in electioneering period. And what I said is, we have to be responsible. And I sometimes want to say it's important to report things responsibly. When I was engaged in this job that I like, do you know this job is interesting? You could live here and go out and find that your car is gone, as it used to happen during Moi's time. You would be fired on radio, mostly KBC. Utoke nje, ukifika hapo unapata gari haiko na imeenda. Unauliza dereva ameenda wapi, ati hapana, recalled. So we have come a long way. I think it was Brenda who was saying how far we have come. Nimesikia huyo ndugu yangu anaitwa president. There is a time in Kenya you would never have been referred to as president. Sijameni tumetoka mbali sana. But if you ask me to say one or two things and sit down, this space, we don't have to have rules. And I thank I appreciate those who have thanked us for doing the gazettement of the code. That's what was expected of us. Government is completely committed to the rule of law, constitutionalism. And believe you me or not, that we are committed. I have also seen that government is not, people believe government is not very fairly reported, which is fine for me, because that's what we try and say all the time. But if I was to say simply, we just need to be able to create, and this is what I told the UK High Commissioner, is that we have to agree how we deal in this space, as opposed to expecting government to make laws on everything. And I told the commissioner that I'm told that UK doesn't have a constitution, but they are okay. So if we can agree as users of this space how to conduct business and ourselves, then this space will be fine. But from a politician's perspective, I would want to have journalists with me who cover me and make my story look good. You also know that you will have reporters or agents who make sure that everything they report about you is negative. And these are the rules of this game. But it's our space. So if you tell me to say two things, I would say let's be responsible. And I want to tell you what happened to me when I was one week in this job. I visited KBC. And as I was exiting, there were these guys with cameras on stands. Hebu wewe bwana, situkuuliza maswali kadhaa. Umekuja hapa namna gani? Said, I've come to here to see KBC and understand how they're operating. I know that things are very tight for them, and we have a plan. And truly, believe me, we have a plan to reorganize KBC to make it an international standard broadcasting corporation. And that will happen. If I keep my job, it will happen. So, MD, I'm sure you know that we have a plan. So as I was speaking to this journalist, one of them said, Sasa wewe, what are you going to do about social media na vile kuna mambo mingi na nini? And without thinking much about that question, I said, look, we have to be responsible. No, inasemekana wewe unaweza zima radio. I said, inasemekana wapi? Huku tu mtaani kwa social media na wapi? And I said to him, you know, government has capacity to switch off. But we do not have the intention to ever switch off anyone because there's freedom of expression. There's freedom. It's enshrined in our Constitution. And I gave an example of how you can switch off a radio or a TV. And I gave the example of Rwanda during the genocide, where a radio was used to propagate hate and cause thousands of people to be killed. But that evening, when I opened my TV as usual, Kabogo threatens. Je, huu nungwana? You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand how to play and be fair and just. It's important to report fairly and accurately. I don't want to say much off the cuff, but I have a lot to say if you ask me. But the trending, I enjoyed. That was good. That was very good. And I've been looking today as I sit here, and nothing is happening. So one of them, I think, said, we are under attack from DDOs. And then the reply said, Mwambie Kabogo apigie Soipan to bring KDF. Space is very good. So anyway, I appreciate Media Council for inviting me to this very important occasion. Let me begin by commending the Media Council of Kenya for convening this important summit and for your unwavering commitment to professionalism and ethical journalism in our nation. This year's theme, Public Interest in the Era of Technology, Media Accountability and National Values, could not be more timely. We are living in a digital age where the speed and scale of information dissemination are unprecedented. Technology has become both a powerful tool and a destructive force too. On one hand, we celebrate how it has democratized access to information, amplified voices, and transformed storytelling. On the other hand, we face the harsh reality of misinformation, hate speech, disinformation, and eroding public trust. In this era, the role of media is not just to inform, it is to uphold truth, reinforce national values, and defend the public interest. The media must not only reflect who we are, as a society, but also help shape who we aspire to be in the future. Our Constitution outlines national values like integrity, patriotism, human dignity, and social justice. This must remain in the compass that guides both traditional and digital media. When these values are undermined, whether by sensationalism, propaganda, or unchecked digital content, our unity and democracy are put at risk. As a government, we are taking deliberate steps to support this sector. We are finalizing our national digital content policy, expanding digital literacy efforts, and investing in infrastructure for public and community media. But we cannot do this alone. I call upon journalists, editors, tech platforms, bloggers, and influencers. Let us work together to build a media ecosystem that serves the public good. Truthfully, respectably, and ethically. Let us be accountable to the people we serve. And let us never forget that in every broadcast, headline, or tweet lies the power to either build or break. I've just mentioned one of those things, and I remember calling a CEO the other day, talking about certain headlines. And you know, government has a long arm, they say. And I used to say so also myself. And you get to a situation where you hear someone sits somewhere in Korogosho, Kilimani, or somewhere in Bondo, decides the headline for today, writes it and sends it to the editor. And the editor is supposed to find information to fit that headline. Je, huo ni ungwana? Simunijibu lakini jameni. Je, huo ni ungwana? Report as it is. Kama sahi jioni utakuja kuona wale wamenibandika ati Kabogo alisema. Ni sawa tu, but you know, before they would ask you for a video to prove what you said. You know, like when we were campaigning, sometimes I was accused of having said some things about ladies. There's never been a video. And people would always ask for videos those days. But today with AI, my friend, video itapatikana. Video itapatikana. Na hakuna kitu inauzika haraka kama fake news. Inauzika haraka sana. But we have a country to protect. This is our home. Hatuna nyingine. Lazima tutafute njia ya kuishi at this media platform, which is very important on informing Kenyans. Na hii kitu watu wakikamata wale wa siasa, hii tumepatiwa hapa na CEO sahi. Utaona watu watahama radios fulani, watahama TV fulani, wakielekea Royal Media, because that's where they get the people. Au sio namna hiyo? Nirudi kwa hii maneno niwache story mingi. So let us be accountable to the people we serve. And let us never forget that in every broadcast headline or tweet lies the power to either build or break. Together, let us safeguard the future of our media and through it, the future of our country. Asanteni sana, mubarikiwe. Wale wenye kamera, tutatafuta siku nyingine majaliwa, Mungu akipenda, ya hiyo maswali mumeniwekea, kwa sababu najua mumeweka maswali sana. Leo ni siku ya Media Council, na tuwapongeze kwa makofi, kazi mzuri wanafanya. And government is not in bed with the Media Council, if I may use that language, because it's commonly referred to meaning that we do things that are there just to help government. Criticize government and criticize government responsibly. Let us report things as they are. I was looking at newspapers and news the day the president of Finland visited His Excellency the President, and a question was asked about abductions. And the president said, kila hatua itachukuliwa kwa wale ambao, those who abducted people will be brought to book. And I imagine that was the right thing to say. But the twist of these things don't make our country look good. It's unfortunate that those things did actually happen. But it will be important for it to be a learning lesson so that these things never ever happen again in a modern society. So let's find a synergy where they, us, and everyone should be able to work together to make our country, Kenya, a better place for our children. Asante.
Thank you so much for that, CS Kabogo. But at this time, we will be formally launching and unveiling the Code of Conduct for Media Practice. Hours and hours, months and months, years and years of blood, sweat, and tears put into this.